It is a snowy Saturday morning, just having some coffee, and one of the videos that I wanted to make, one of the topics I wanted to discuss was gatekeeping. Now, sure, gatekeeping, it happens in the Pokemon hobby. Um, it always bugs me, and gatekeeping is really, it becomes more prevalent, I think, as you get old like me. You start to see little comments, little slights, little mentions, and you start to realize that it doesn't add anything. It doesn't add anything to your enjoyment of the hobby when I gatekeep, or when you gatekeep, or when someone else gatekeeps. And when I say gatekeep, really it's like, what's the word when you tut someone, when you got the wrong information, or here's the way it should be. Here's the way you should interpret this, and this is how it should be. I'm a true collector. All this gatekeeping stuff, in my opinion, it doesn't add a lot. Like, you see some YouTubers, they spend all of their time gatekeeping, tut-tutting. Oh, this person believes this. Look down on them. It's not a great way to tackle things. And it's not exclusive to Pokemon. I've been involved in other hobbies. I've been involved in some horticulture hobbies, and you see that all the time. Oh, I do it better. Oh, I've been doing it for longer. My setup is far superior to your setup. My collection is far superior than your collection. I've been collecting way before it was cool to collect. It doesn't add anything to the hobby. An example of something small that I noticed, there was a brand new collector. They made a comment in one of the Facebook groups, and they said, I recently bought a tin. The tin had a promo card in it. What are promo cards? Are they more valuable or less valuable than set cards? Basically the ones inside of a pack. And I looked at the question, and I looked at the response that someone had, and someone, I don't know, maybe it was, and here's me gatekeeping right now. This person, maybe they only care about the big hits. They only care about the high money, high value cards. And they said, no one really wants the promo cards. Promo cards you can't sell. They might be good in a big set of different promo cards, if you were looking for evolutions, but promo cards don't really matter. And I was, gatekeeping myself. I'm like, that's not true. Promo cards are one of the more interesting aspects of collecting. They're cards that, yes, you can buy them in collection boxes. Yes, you can get them in certain ways. But for the most part, promo cards are a little bit harder to... Yeah, they're hard to get. To me, they're harder to collect. There's so many of them, and they're released over time. So, you have it was something like 250 or 260 promo cards in Sword and Shield. Maybe even more. And to me, I think promo cards are amazing because you don't collect them in one set. They're collected over a long period of time. They're collected over huge... if you were to purchase every single box that a promo card came in, or if you were to purchase... or if you're to participate in all of the promo cards, the acquisition methodologies for promo cards, it would be extremely expensive. Some promo cards you can't get unless you buy something else, or unless you participate in something some way. Like Van Gogh Pikachu. So that's an example of a promo card that is not easy to get. It might get easier soon, but we'll see. So this person was saying promo cards are trash. I was thinking, no, they're not. They're probably one of the more interesting parts of collecting. But we're just coming from it from different perspectives, and I was gatekeeping or thinking, I don't comment. I try not to make, gatekeeping style comments, but I was just seeing it, and I felt bad that misinformation was flowing. And I know, is it misinformation? It's just subjective knowledge, right? It's just opinions. And you see that a lot. You see people like new to the hobby, they'll open a pack, they'll get a nice hit. They'll get, let's say, some hits from Crown Zenith, and they'll post on Facebook, or they'll post on Reddit, should I grade this? And then you should answer it, right? You should say, well, if it's really a special card to you, yes, grade it. Put it aside. If you really want it in a slab, grade it. But a lot of the results, like if you're in the Poke investing, you'll see people make comments, oh, this will not have value. This is a set card. This is a card that doesn't have long-term value. It's only worth $6. You have to think of it as this person is just new to the hobby. They're wondering what grading is all about. And grading is also a very subjective and opinion-based topic. Some people like grading, some people don't. Some people see the reason to grade some things, blah, blah, blah. But it's more gatekeeping, right? It's like, don't gatekeep, don't correct people. Just share information. I think that makes more sense. I mean, there's a lot of people who will collect cards, and they're not always going after the big set hits or the really hard to get cards. Sometimes they're just looking for that card that, pinches them in the right way. It makes them that little bit happier when they look at it. Oh man, conditioning. Conditioning is another thing that it's just about informing, right? You see like these opinions near mint, light played. They're all subjective evaluations of a card condition. And to summarize, people have different impressions of what near mint is. I know that some people contact me, and I sell singles, and when I say near mint, I mean it could have something, a spot on it. It could have a single white spot, maybe. Or it could be perfectly fine. That's near mint. It might be offset. Some people will give what I would consider light play or heavy play, moderate play, and they'll call that near mint. And then you look at TCG Player, and they'll have a different definition of what near mint and mint is, and so it's all subjective, and it's all like, just have to understand that people are going to differ, and you should gatekeep. You shouldn't tut. You shouldn't like make people feel unwelcome or uninformed. What you want to do is give people information, give people knowledge about something. When someone says, should I grade this card? You have to tell them, well, there's pros and cons. I know it's not fun, but there's pros and cons of grading. The grading itself is subjective, blah, blah, blah. But if it's something that's really special to you, and you want it in a slab so that it's a piece of memorabilia for you, or if you want it in a slab so that you can flip it and sell to someone who really wants a mint copy of the card, you got to inform them. That's what grading is. I mean, it's different things to different people. And you got to watch out. Don't gatekeep, just inform. I see too much of people like tut-tutting and not, being really friendly with how they provide information. And again, it happens in all sorts of hobbies. You can see it gatekeeping a lot in the Poke investing. You'll have some guys who will, they'll have, I've got 30 cases of booster boxes. Me as a store, I don't even order 30 cases of booster boxes for a set release, but they'll have 30 cases of booster boxes or 10 cases of, 151 ETBs or Japanese 151. So they're different, right? Whereas there's another guy, and they just want to say, I bought it for 100, and then 2 years down the road, I sold it for 150, and I made $50. So there's a lot of gatekeeping that happens in the Poke investing stuff, and you have to be careful and read into it. A lot of people are just giving their own subjective analysis, and there's always other sides to coins. There's always other things that you should consider when you're answering someone's question. When someone's new to the hobby, give them insight into what you felt, and let them know that it's an opinion, or it's I found some people speak like, you're completely wrong if you don't do it the way I do it. And that's something that's not good. Gatekeeping as well is like, oh, I've been in it since XY. Oh, I've been in it since black and white. That doesn't add anything. Like, someone comes into the hobby during Scarlet and Violet. Why make them feel less, if they weren't here during the Sword and Shield boom? Or less if they weren't here during the low parts of black and white and XY, right? I mean, you could say, this is what happened, this is what it was like, but, I mean, it's not something to tut-tut. Just because you were here and they weren't doesn't really make your subjective opinion better. But it's still, I mean, don't not share it, but feel like you can inform people without looking down your nose at them, making them feel less. And that's what I don't like about gatekeeping, is makes you feel less. Like, example, I was on this sales Discord, and I was like, hey, look, there's a Christmas special, like PSA grading is now $13.99, and you had some of the bigger graders saying, oh, that's nothing, it's irrelevant, not a big deal, not a big change, who cares? I'm like, to me, like, this $2 off a grading per card, and to them, who cares? It's not a big deal, insignificant. I'm like, well, okay. Again, it's their opinion, but the way they tackled it, it's like, you don't have to. I thought it was exciting to get $2 off a grading per card, and to them, insignificant. They're big money, so it doesn't make sense. And collections, like size comparisons for collections, there's no need to like say my collection is better than your collection purely because I spent more money on it. I mean, you can say, you enjoy the hobby, you collected, and you found this really card during this era, and you've been in it for a while, and this is what you've learned. But to look down upon someone because, don't make fun of people because they say let's go, or they have tattoos on their fingers. Don't gatekeep. It's okay for people to be in the hobby and to not have lots and lots of experience and lots of information. Share with them your insight or your opinion, but don't be a gatekeeper. Don't make them feel less just because they're still learning. It doesn't add anything, and it doesn't help. It makes people feel less welcome. Like when people were tut-tutting that, ooh, $2 off grading is not a big deal, it's not significant or worthy of note. I mean, they're basically making me feel like less. Like, why? Doesn't make sense. Don't gatekeep. Thanks, everyone.